Hey everybody, we're back at the CIPD Festival of Work. We're going to continue our conversations on AI in TA and HR. And who else other than the marvelous Tracey Parsons here. Tracey, wonderful to see you
again. Good to see you. Always good to see you.
It is indeed. Well, my pleasure to see you.
Wow.
Why don't you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you? What it is you do, Tracey?
Absolutely. I'm Tracey Parsons. I'm the CEO and founder of Flockity. I have been in the recruitment space since the late 1900s.
You don't look it. You must be vampiric in your...
Hydration and lasers.
And red light therapy.
I don't do that yet. We'll get there.
Red light therapy, I've been convinced on this simply by observing my friends who are on red light therapy. They're going backwards in time.
Yeah, lasers.
Yeah,
I think it's similar. Yeah, they just burn the wrinkles out of your face.
This is crazy. I need this.
Yeah, be broadband light.
Tell us about Flockity. What is Flockity? What does it do?
Basically, Flockity is influencer marketing for jobs. So if you think about the next generation of talent, the existing generation of talent, 72% of people aren't looking. And the best way to reach them is through trusted voices. Right. So they're not going to a job board. They're not going to a branded social media space. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're on Meta. They're listening to the voices that they trust in their industry. And we distribute jobs through those trusted voices.
I love this. So the optimal case would be like if Mr. Beast could say something about, hey,
Yeah, but so we're not talking Kardashians. We're not talking Mr. Beast. We're talking micro-influencers.
Within industry, I guess.
Within industry. So our influencers kind of fall in one of two buckets. One of them are career coaches, right? So people who hold the ear of job seekers everywhere, like giving them tips on formatting a resume, all the things that they're consuming on the internet. And then specialists, to your point, right? So software developers, product managers, salespeople, marketers, nurses. Yeah. So they're trusting their community. They're talking about what it's like to do their job. And then, oh, by the way, I've got some jobs in our field. Go check them out.
Yeah, amazing. And what's wonderful about sort of these platforms like TikTok, it's that it's given a lot of people that have expertise just an enormous audience because they're prepared to share their knowledge.
Correct.
And it's like this person could still be an operator. They don't have to be a senior individual.
Right.
They've just got a way to communicate what their job is. And suddenly they've got like 2 million people following.
If you have a better way of selling a product, if you have a better way of writing code, if you have a better way of turning a patient in an MRI machine, right? Like all the things that people know and get about their job, they're starting to get that training and that information from TikTok and Reels.
Yeah, and I forget how dominant TikTok is in terms of how much time people spend on
90 minutes a day.
Crazy. That's like by far more than anything else, right?
Right. Like it's crazy. And I always ask people like, do you TikTok?
I am a lurker.
Okay. So keep there. Do you ever get the lady that tells you to stop scrolling, go to sleep?
No.
So that's very good for you.
Oh, there is there's an automated
yes,
thing.
There's a lady of TikTok who is like, "Are you still scrolling when you should be sleeping?" And I was like, "I hate you."
Do you listen to her?
No, I never listen to her. That is immediately 3 videos more I'm watching. It's immediately
crazy.
Don't tell me what to do.
Crazy how addictive it is. But I think it's underused in the world of recruiting. Because of the audience and the attention that you have. So there's no question that you're sitting in the right space. Can I ask how you came to this idea? I think it's a very interesting idea. One of the new ones that I've heard.
It really began out of frustration, right? So I went to a conference in 2023 and it was the same 10 people talking about the same 10 things we've been talking about for 20 years, right? And it's not like we don't have new problems. Job seeker attention is fleeting at best. They don't trust us. We don't trust them. And I was like, oh, well, do I leave? Like, do I go back to consumer marketing where I came from? And I started doing some research and I started looking. And I was like, oh my God, the number one channel for the consumer CMO is influencer and affiliate marketing. Yeah. And it does everything from awareness to sales, right? Because they know that that's the trusted voice. And I was like, well, why don't we have that? Yeah. And so I sat down with my partner and I was like, I just have a thread of an idea. Influencer marketing for jobs. And he was like, that doesn't exist. And I'm like, it doesn't exist. He's like, well, let's make it. So we did a stealth beta in September of 23. We started with about a reach of 5,000 influencers. Like the reach was about 5,000. We had 3 companies. They prepay. It's a pay-per-click model, right? Yep. So anybody that clicks on your job or your brand, you get charged for it, and we revenue share with the influencers. So then we built that up over the course of the stealth beta, and we decimated everybody's click bank in 36 hours on January 2nd. I was like, okay,
You have it.
we have a thing. We have product market fit, right? And so then we started taking it broad and wide. Now our influencer reach is over 6.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I ask what kind of jobs tend to work well?
Yeah.
Or?
Corporate jobs, white collar jobs. We are seeing some traction in skilled trade, but that's an outlier. We are seeing some traction emerging in healthcare now.
Right.
Right. So we're not doubling down on healthcare, but our most powerful jobs are AI jobs, product management jobs, sales jobs, marketing jobs. So a lot of revenue producing jobs for mid-market tech companies.
Right.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It's really funny. Like you get to watch this and you get to see, like one of our customers launched their campaign, and 2 weeks later they had a VP of finance in for an interview.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a senior person, because we're testing something brand new. We don't know. That's why all of our customers go through like a couple months of like, let's test your reach. Like, is this something the influencers are going to pick up? Is this something that's going to get traction? And then we help them make a budget based on that.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm fascinated by this. So I'm going to keep going. How do you identify the influencers do you have a bank of them already signed up? Or is it a case of, okay, here's a company that wants to hire for this particular role. We're going to go out and find the influencer.
So we can do that, but then we run into a problem, because this is a two-sided marketplace if you think about it, right? We've got to have the right influencers and the right companies.
Right.
And if we don't have that mix, then we have unused inventory, which is clicks, right? So what we try to do is we put those buckets into, these are career coaches, so they have mass job seeker reach. And then while we are getting a campaign started with the mass job seeker reach, we go find those specialists. But we have to make sure that we are finding specialists that are going to scale with us. So if that customer ever goes away or goes on a hiring freeze, then they want to still partner with us, but if there's no jobs, they don't want to partner with us, right? So we have to make sure that there's a nice mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go find them. We have a rubric there. Everybody's vetted. You don't just get to sign up and play. We found out how people cheat in the beta, because people will cheat. You know, we're dealing with money changing hands. So it's been really fascinating to watch. Like we look at their reach, we look at their engagement, we look, are they brand friendly? So yeah, we've got a proprietary rubric that we run them through, and they're continuously vetted, right? So
yeah,
terms of service are really dialed. Like any job that you post has to have company name, job title, and location. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Right. Very, very good.
Yeah.
What have you learned about being a CEO that you didn't know before you became a CEO?
That none of this is personal. It really isn't. And that 5 years ago, when I was more of a practitioner, I would look at these problems as very personal problems, right? Like, well, if I just do this, and if I just do this. And I used to be very interested in controlling the outcome, right? Nobody's control of anything, right? The world we live in right now, we love control. I love control. I am a control freak. I tell on myself all the time, but that nothing is within our control. So all I do now is create conditions. Right. So if I can create enough conditions to get to an outcome, whether it's positive or negative, I've done my job as a CEO.
Yeah. I love that, because it does feel at times that we're all like hands-free on a roller coaster.
Yes.
And we have to actually get used to that. Like
Yes.
we can't, I get the feeling a lot of us are actually still waiting for somebody to put the hands on the wheel. It's like there's nobody at the wheel.
No.
You know, hands-free. That's where you're real of it.
Just drive your life and create conditions, right? Like nothing. If you can create the right conditions to get the outcome you're looking for, because the outcome you're looking for is reliant on somebody else, right? Somebody else has to say yes to be a Flockity influencer. Somebody else has to say yes to being a Flockity customer.
Yes.
And I can't control any of that. All I can do is create conditions like, this is how the product works. This is what works. These are case studies that show that this works. Like I can only create the conditions that will help people come to a decision.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Tracey, final question.
Yeah.
Let's say you're addressing an audience of people, HR leaders, TA leaders, and so forth. How would you kind of advise them to kind of, what's the one thing they should do in order to be future ready, future fit?
Kind of what I was just talking about, right? I think all of us need to do a healthy level of letting go, right? There is nothing in the HR leadership or TA leadership that we are actually in control of.
Right.
Not a damn thing, right? So what we have to do is we have to create conditions and build trust, right? If we can build trust with our hiring managers and our leaders and our candidates, if we can start building that trust, and we have to build that trust by letting go. Like the current way that we market work is so disingenuous, right? Like
what do you mean by that?
well, we want to put a nice little veneer on everything. And we want to make it so that everybody wants to work with us.
Right.
Right? And we also have to change the language. Nobody wants to work for someone. They want to work with you. Right? So we always try to put this nice sheen and polish on things that does not exist. Work is hard. Jobs are hard. They pay you to show up. Right? Like nobody shows up for free. And just tell people the truth. Tell us what it's really like to work there.
So do you feel like a lot of employer branding over the last several years has been like disingenuous essentially?
Yes, it's been employer branding.
Yeah.
And it's try to be one size fits all, which makes it one size fits none.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like if you tell you're for everybody, then you're for no one.
I forget who is it that said, maybe it'd been Lars Schmidt or somebody, our good friend. It was like, okay, the great employer branding is actually like quite a deterrent to actually
Yes.
one candidate.
Yes.
It's just about attraction.
I have been a big believer in screen in, screen out, right? I had a conversation with a very, very like large tech company, and I went to their career website and it says, you know, here you're going to change the world. And I'm like, awesome. This place is a fixer upper. Like, I really would like to change this, right? And I was like, well, what does that mean? You know? And she's like, well, we have a real quality problem. I was like, yeah, I was looking at your branding and you're telling people you're going to change the world. What does that actually mean? And she's like, well, it actually means like you have to be on your A game 24/7. And if the CEO calls you at 3 o'clock in the morning from the factory floor, you have to have,
You've got to be
dialed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not signing up for that. You should tell people that.
Correct.
Because then you're going to get people who are like, yeah, that's totally me. I can bring my A game 24/7. And you're going to screen out the people that you're viewing as quality. Like, you don't have a brand or quality problem. You have an education problem.
That's right. We maybe some of the period that we're going through now, we're actually moving back towards a sort of transparency where,
hopeful.
you know, we don't feel obliged to tell things that aren't true, because, you know, it's socially or politically good to do that. Just be honest about who you are as a business, and you're going to get the right people for your business, and you know, not hire the wrong people.
The idea that we need more is one of the most fraudulent ideas that we've ever propagated in the universe of GI, right? You don't need more. You need the ideal ones for your business.
And I think that's more resonant now than ever before.
Yes.
We are in a candidate-rich market, so hopefully people will take that advice.
Yeah.
Okay, Tracey Parsons, what a wonderful conversation.
So good to
Hopefully
see
we'll continue this offline. So
Absolutely.
great to have you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Can't wait. Thank you so much.
Welcome.